And here we are, finally. This is my final effort to make a game that was legitimately scary. This is The House. And this is also, like, my 9th attempt at doing this, because I have to record all these using a program called Cam Studio, and Cam Studio is one of those programs that won't record AVIs over 2 gigabytes. So there's this whole big process I have to go through, and it's been a pain in the butt. So if I sound a little worn out for this, you know why. But enough about that. Let's get on to The House. Excuse me, my throat is a little scratchy after talking for like 5 hours. So, The House. The House is supposed to be a scary game, right? So how did I make it scary? Well, for starters, I realized that suspension of disbelief is probably the most important thing. And what that means is that you kind of have to believe what you're seeing, even if you know it's unbelievable, right? So to do that, I had to get rid of the cartoon green hedgehog. I mean, obviously, right? And instead, I went for something a little more realistic. There's, real people. The house we're going to see is kind of realistically laid out, stuff like that. And another way I wanted to do that was to kind of make a connection to the player, which is why it's asking you for your name here, because I thought it would be kind of cool if the game addressed you. If it kind of tried to pull you into its world by talking to you directly. By, saying your name and saying, hey, you out there, here's the thing, whatever. So here's our name. The first release I did of this in 2005 only had the option to play as the guy, but I actually had some women tell me that, we want to play the game. If this is supposed to be so immersive, then we need representation too. So, I obliged and I added the option to play as a lady, but I'm going to pick a guy because I am a guy, so obviously. Every town has its urban legends of haunted houses. I've read this so much. Ryan, you enter one such house tonight. Is it to prove the existence of ghosts? Or to dispel the legends surrounding the house? Only you know why you are here. Armed with nothing more than a flashlight, you approach the house. Good luck. I kind of like that Resident Evil style intro. And again, like I said, it addresses you directly. It says, hey, you're the one going to this haunted house, and it's spooky. So we're going to do 2 playthroughs here. The first one, I'm just going to play like normal. And then the second one, I'll explain the mechanics behind it because, I don't want to spoil it at first, right? I don't know why I keep saying right. I sound like Jonathan Blow. So here we are in the foyer, or the foyer. I've never been quite sure. To our right is the kitchen and the dining room, and to our left is the study. I keep calling it a library for some reason. And upstairs are all the bedrooms. So, I guess we'll start... Oh, that was weird. I guess we'll start in here, because I think I expected, this would be the first place that people would go. I don't know, the lights went out. And if we were back in the foyer, or the foyer, we could actually hear the generator in the basement slowly wind down and turn off. That is a spooky house creaking noise. So normally, I would walk up to this door and it'd be, oh no, it's locked, and then I'd walk up there and I'd get the key. But I've done this so much that I just instinctively walked up and got the key. You'll notice that there are locked doors in this. Like that, yes. I believe it was Pat from Two Best Friends Play said that the primary mechanic of horror games is that it is a shit's locked simulator, which means it is basically locked doors to gate your progress. Which, I mean, this was made probably a full decade before he said that, so that wasn't like, I didn't hear him say that and make this game like that. I don't even know why I made this game like that. It's just something that happened. And check out this refrigerator. It's like 15 feet tall. Either that or I'm the world's smallest man. But the other part about horror games is that, you know, they're primarily narrative driven, I guess. So we have these journals here, and it's actually kind of dangerous for me to stand here for reasons we'll get into later. So we won't actually read this journal. This journal just says that there are two types of keys, that there are gold keys and there are silver keys. And then there are doors marked with gold and silver locks. And obviously, gold keys go to gold doors, silver keys go to silver doors. I don't remember if I made that whispering sound. It's really spooky. Oh, and obviously I'm using my new microphone here, so it's like really sensitive. You might actually hear my chair creak a lot. It's a really old office chair. But yeah, oh, whoops, I'll go down here. Well, there's nothing down here. There's some washing machines. And the water heater. Yes, the water healer. There's another journal. We're not going to read that right now. And here's the generator. Now, this is like the world's smallest... Well, actually, no. Compared to him, it's actually a pretty big generator. But it powered this whole entire house. And it's kind of mysterious that it's out of fuel right now. Because that would mean that, like, the lights have been on this entire time. Almost like it's waiting for us. I don't know, that's weird to me. Here's this radio. It doesn't really pick up sound. Something I like that I did here is... Hopefully this comes through. I've been having sound problems on these recordings. But it's actually positional audio. So if I go over here... you know, it kind of tracks to the position of the radio in the room, and that's something I really liked. I think this is the only game I've ever made with positional audio like that. So here are the upstairs, and here are all the rooms. I think... I'm not going to be reading all the journals. I'll be reading some of them. But basically, there are 3 rooms for, like, the staff, which are the silver doors, and there are 3 rooms for the family that used to live here, which are the gold doors. As you can tell, that there are no mazes here. I totally abandoned the mazes from The Darkness 2. I think this is one of the first doors we should go in. Here's this nice TV. Like the radio, it doesn't pick up any stations. Health. This should be a pretty safe room to read something in. So let's read our first journal real quick. April 16th, 1772. My brother is gone. Jeffrey is dead. I barely escaped with my life. Today is the first day I've been awake enough to write in my journal. There's talk father may be let out of the prison to attend the funeral. I fear what will happen should he come around here. I may have survived the fight for our family's honor, but it may not have been worth keeping. What have I done? I may indeed die soon, at the hands of the man who helped birth me. His dream has been ruined. It's also worth mentioning that I wrote all these journal entries, and I'm not a very good fiction writer, and that's something else we'll touch on later as we get further into the house. I mean, technically we've kind of seen all there is to see. Doubly so, because that spooky door just creaked open on its own. But we're going to wait for this. Because this is a poltergeist, you see, so he throws things at us. I'm not quite sure what room we should go into next. I mean, we have a bunch of keys, so it technically doesn't really matter. We have even more keys now. Let me think for a minute. I guess we just read things. But first, let's dodge some silverware. a little faint to hear, but there's actually kind of a spooky rumble sound that accompanies that. It's an old journal, blah blah. June 13th, 1760, so this is before the journal we just read. We have a new sister now. Mother doesn't like her. Says she was her father's bastard creation. That is why father is in jail now. I think she's cute. If mother won't take care of her, I will have to. July 1st, 1760. With father gone, mother has taken up the task of teaching us to be men. The first order of business is to teach us how to fight. Mother is a very good fighter. She knows things that I think not even father does. She is quick with her fists. She split David's lip open, and even with it bleeding everywhere, she demanded he keep fighting. There is a fire in her eyes. I have heard rumors that it is the devil's fire, but I find that hard to believe. No mother can be evil. Can they? Several pages are badly burned. It's a bunch of junk. Tonight, David and I are going to set things straight. Normally, I wouldn't go along with something like this, but David convinced me. Nobody insults our family like that. It will be dangerous, but as long as we have the element of surprise, nothing should go wrong. Just like Mama said. So presumably, this is the diary of Jeffrey, the boy who died in the last thing that we read. That was weird. I kept hearing things moving. That's part of the reason why journals are so dangerous in this game. They're actually kind of bugged a little bit. I don't think things are supposed to happen while you're reading, but they do. That's why I was a little wary of reading while there were, like, throwable objects in the room. Well, here's another one. We're actually running kind of low on battery here. What little is legible reads, "What if dying wasn't the end? What if dying drove you insane?" Well, I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. Another diary. Simple diary, nothing fancy. September 2nd, 1926. He is going too far. He demands that we work all day and all night. I do not know what is wrong with him. He was much kinder when we first were hired to work here. But there is a fire in his eyes. Didn't think I'd ever see something like that ever again. September 7th. I've decided. I've revealed my secret to the rest of the staff. We will perform a ritual a week from tonight. There is something in this house, and I intend to get rid of it. I am confident in my skills in the dark arts. I cannot fail this time. There are too many of us casting the spell to fail. This existence will be removed, or we will die trying. Well, that sounds really safe. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. Actually, I think that's all the rooms on this side of the house. Let's go back over here. Actually, wait. We need a battery, and there's a battery in here. Unlike Alan Wake, you can run out of batteries in this game, and you will be hosed. Let's go in here. Nothing in there. More notes to read. Okay. September 9th, 1926. The maids and the butler have been acting weird lately. I cannot quite put my finger on it. Perhaps Locke is working them too hard. He's always had a fiery temper, but it seemed to have gotten worse since we moved in here. Dare I say the help might be conspiring against him, but I believe they are too kind-hearted to do that. Still, I hear strange things in the night coming from their rooms. Even stranger are the shadows I see. I think I saw one of those shadows. However, it is probably only a trick of the light. Darkness makes one's eyes see strange things. Well, there was definitely a shadow we saw, I think. There's something out of the corner of my eye. Or the corner of the game screen. All these bookcases with keys in them. Oh, more notes. I kind of don't like reading this, but I mean, that's kind of horror games, right? It's just a bunch of reading spooky notes and opening locked doors. Unfortunately, there's not really much more to do in this game besides that. In fact, I'm surprised something else hasn't happened already. We're not going to read that note. I mean, I don't know. I guess we could. I feel like this video is going to end up being just me reading a bunch of crummy notes that I wrote almost 10 years ago. They say, to the proof, no believer... yeah, to the proof, no believer is necessary. That's exactly what I wrote. They say, to the believer, no proof is necessary. To the skeptic, no proof is possible. Then how did I end up in the situation I'm in now? How naive I was to brush off the stories behind this house. I don't even want the stupid contest money now. I only hope that what I am writing will be in vain and that I will make it out alive. If not, turn back now. Leave. There is a force in this house. I think it's pure evil. Hurry before you go mad. There are forces far beyond what science has even begun to comprehend. Do not stay here any longer, believing that the world is flat. Soon enough you will discover just how round it really is. And that explains why I didn't want to be in this room, because that is awful. That is something I wrote, and I am embarrassed for myself. That's almost more embarrassing than the green hedgehog. What is this? October 20th, 1925. We have moved in. The price for this house was amazingly cheap. I still cannot believe it. It needs a little work around the edges. There was apparently a fire here many years ago. But that is why we will hire maids and butlers. Ever since I first saw this house, I could feel that something was pulling me towards it, like I belonged here. I am very excited, as are the wife and children. This is our dream. My dream. I should probably put the scissors down and stop messing with them. Can I read these? No. So, whoa! Ah! No matter how many times I play this stupid game, he always scares me. Look, it's like a grim... Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Duh! Get... Nope. Oh, the door's locked. Oh. So, that was a hallucination. That's not a hallucination, though. That was real. Ah! Okay, run, 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 run. What is with these water dudes? I don't remember putting them in the game. Okay, well, actually, I think the only room we haven't been into yet is this one. Hey, a gun! Ah! Oh, and zombies now. Great. Great. Nope, 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 nope. Stop it. And these are zombies at my neighbor's zombies. Great, now I'm out of ammo. I think there was more ammo over here. One of these dressers somewhere. Whoa. Yup. Well, that took all my ammo. I don't... Oh, that's not creepy at all, is it? The radio just turned itself on. I don't know if we've been in the study yet. There might be things in there for us. Like zombies and death. The house claims more lives. Ryan presumed dead at the scene. That's another way. I actually really like that. It says today's date, and it says your name. That's like such a simple little touch, but I still like it. So, I'm going to reset some things, and we're going to play through this again, and I'm going to explain everything that goes on in the house and why it goes on. So, keep watching this video unless I split it up into a second part. So you want to know the secrets of how the house works, huh? Well, brother, are you in for a treat? It's actually really simple. We're going to pick a lady this time, because why not? So, you might have noticed that the house is actually a pretty non-linear environment. You have all these doors, and you're kind of allowed to freely explore the house as long as you have a key. And it's not like a Resident Evil kind of thing. Like, you know how in Resident Evil you'll get like a rooster key, and the rooster key goes in the rooster door, right? That's not true here. Here, as long as you have like a gold key, you can go in any gold key door. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water. I've been doing this for kind of a long time. So yeah, you can freely explore at your leisure, or leisure. Leisure? Is that a British thing? I think that's a British thing. So to support this non-linearity, obviously I had to build a system around it, right? You couldn't just... Like, going back to the Resident Evil example, they know that you're going to have the rooster key at a certain point in the game, so they can hide a certain kind of event behind that rooster key door, knowing that it's the linear progression of... There's that generator shutting down. But they'll know that you'll have the rooster key and that you'll be able to see a specific type of story event behind that door. Here, that's not guaranteed. You know, you could... First thing you could do, you could go in here, maybe. Or you could come down here and go in this door first. You know, it doesn't really matter, though I think I tried to make sure that, you know, this was the first door that most people would probably come into, was the dining room. I figured that's why if you go into the kitchen over here, the journal you'll read tells you about the key colors. Okay, so I talked about how it's a non-linear game. Okay, so what I had to end up doing is coming up with a system that would kind of work in any room you were in. I had to dynamically allow for you to just sort of wander about and ramp scary events up naturally. So what this means is that in any given room, there's probably like anywhere from 2 to 3 different things that will happen, depending on, you know, how far things are. That's not actually a good way to explain it. The way I've been explaining it over in past videos is that it's kind of like Left 4 Dead's AI director. In Left 4 Dead, the AI director goes on this narrative principle of peaks and valleys, where you'll have this really kind of slow, quiet moment that slowly builds up to like a climax, which is this really intense moment, and then it sort of, you know, goes back down the slope again and goes back to a quiet moment. I built a system into this game that was kind of like that. I called it the Spookometer, and the longer you play the game, the gradually higher and higher the spook meter will build until it's supposed to reach a crescendo, but I think there's a bug that prevents that from happening. Or I think the bug is that it hits a crescendo and then it stays at that level forever. It's supposed to crescendo and then go back down again, but I don't think it ever does. Game development is hard, folks. So yeah, that's actually, I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of cool, because I made this game in 2005, and Left 4 Dead came out in 2008. So I had a system that was kind of like the AI director years and years before even Valve came up with it. Obviously, you know, you can't just rely on spooky sounds like that, though. What I tried to do is I tried to make it so that reading journals will be the quickest way to increase the spookometer. So if you stand here and you read all these journals a lot, that'll actually increase the rate in which scary events will happen, like this dish flying off the dish cart and trying to hurt me. Oh, it actually hit me. That's another spookometer event. That door's normally barred. You can't get up to the attic until you reach a certain level of spook. Oh no, this is really bad. Obviously, the Grim Reaper guy is another level of spookometer. And actually, the Grim Reaper idea is... Here's another one. This radio turns on by itself. But the Grim Reaper is actually another really cool idea that I don't want to say that I got to it first, but it's this idea of a boogeyman, and this is something that's in Amnesia, and it's something that's in Slender, where you have this monster that's chasing you throughout the entire game, and it's your job to kind of run away from it. And again, this game has that, and that's something that turns up in a lot of modern horror games that makes me really proud of myself that I ended up kind of figuring it out. Obviously, it comes from horror movies like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and John Carpenter's Halloween, stuff like that. But yeah, it kind of makes me proud of myself, that in this quest to try and figure out what makes a game scary, that I kind of happen to stumble on a lot of the same ideas that all these really smart people are coming up with. I don't know, maybe that's egotistical of me. It's one of those things that's kind of hard to say, because you're always so critical of yourself. So you don't really know whether you're being smart or whether you just think you're being smart. I think that's what they call imposter syndrome. And the worst part of it is that, obviously I didn't really intend for it to be like this isometric horror game. I didn't really want to make that. The original idea is that I wanted to do something in first person. Kind of like, the games I'm talking about, like Amnesia and everything. The original... And if you let him, he'll kill you. I like the radio this TV can turn on, but... Well, we're out of keys and we're out of batteries. But like I was trying to say, that I'd originally envisioned this to be like a first-person game. Like, I've always wanted to learn how to map for different programs, and I'd originally thought of this as a Source Engine mod, or eventually I thought about doing it in the Unreal Development Kit, UDK, and then with the rise of Unity, I've given thought to doing it in there too. But the problem is I don't know how to do 3D models. I never learned. But then again, I never really tried to learn either. I think the only time I've ever tried to make a 3D model was years and years ago in Milkshape 3D. I've tried to download Hammer and stuff since then, which is, the Source Engine map editor, and I don't know, I don't think people really like Hammer anyway, and I found it to be really hard to get a handle on. But in one of the design documents for... Oh my gosh. In one of my design documents for, my first-person horror game, You know, I I used to watch like a lot of ghost hunters, right? So I wanted to do like a ghost hunters game, like, you know, with the full-on night vision camera, all that kind of crazy stuff. And the original idea was that you were part of this news team that you were partnered up with. It's hard to describe. It's hard to like walk and chew gum at the same time. Oh, there's the zombie scene. I don't remember if I actually. There we go. It's hard for me to know if that was like a prior thing or if it was something recent. I was, you know, like a previous playthrough, I was trying to get the zombies to appear. But where even was I? I have notes. I have this whole thing written out. The idea was that you were part of this news crew. You were a cameraman, and you were partnered with this kind of really hard-nosed Lois Lane type woman. She was a skeptic, and you were supposed to go into like this haunted hotel, or I think later drafts had it as a haunted prison, and she would pretend to hear spooky noises, and she would pretend to see things that were off screen, and then the idea was that this would boost ratings for the news network. But obviously you'd go there, and something would actually be there. But I always wanted to keep it like ambiguous, whether or not it was actually a ghost, or if it was like, you know, punk kids screwing with you, or like a hobo or something. You can actually kind of see parts of that in here, where the opening, it tells you, you know, are you coming here to look for ghosts? Or are you coming here to prove that there are no ghosts? I always kind of liked painting it in this either or sort of light. Unfortunately, I kind of sat on my ideas for so long that, you know, Amnesia and Slender and Outcast came out, and I feel like those three games are kind of better implementations of the ideas I was starting to get at in here. I mean, I said that earlier. Outlast has the night vision camera stuff. Slender has the boogeyman. Amnesia has the boogeyman. So, I don't know, I feel like if I did it nowadays, it'd be kind of old hat. Because there are so many first-person horror games out there nowadays. So many, like, really awful Slender clones. It's kind of a bummer, you know? So, I don't know. I'd still kind of like to learn Unity one day, so maybe you'll see a crummy, weird horror game from me one day. But for now... Wait a minute. Wait, what? Oh wow, I didn't even know that thing could move. That's kind of cool. I guess once the plate moves off of it, then the card itself is free to move as it pleases. We're going to go beat the game now. There is actually a way to beat this game. It involves visiting every room in the house to start the end game event, which is when all the zombies start appearing. I think you just have to visit every room once, if I remember right. And obviously with my horror game idea, I'm not telling you a lot of ideas because, you know, it's supposed to be a secret, right? I mean, I actually had a lot of good ideas. There was an article one of the Amnesia devs posted, like, probably a couple of years ago now, about what he thought made good horror games. And some of my design documents made it sound like I had some pretty good ideas. Okay, so the zombies are appearing now. I think. One zombie appeared. Oh, there's another one somewhere. There he is. Okay, so normally, you know, you're trapped in this house. You can't get anywhere. But come over here and there is a secret button that you push. And that secret button opens up a secret room in the basement. And if you noticed, you know, in one of the journals we read, some of the butlers and maids said that they knew about dark arts and everything, and this is supposed to be kind of like their secret area. Spate's catalog, Tobin's spirit guide, you know, the classics. And then once you come down here, it should open up the thing in the back. But we actually didn't talk about this room. This room is full of books. And the reason why we never came in here is because... Wow. Is because all of these books in here, obviously I think I'm a really crappy writer. I mean, that much should be obvious. So we have all these books in here, and they're all about, you know, monsters and stuff. The problem is that I knew I was kind of a crappy writer, and in my desperation, I sort of just went to, like, Google image search. Not Google image search, but just Google search. And I looked up scary stories, and I kind of stole them. And, you know, I justified it at the time, but eventually I got to be really guilty about... Oh, we didn't escape. But eventually I ended up getting really guilty about it, and, you know, I took the game off ModDB, and now I'm never going to post it up for download ever again, because you shouldn't steal, and I shouldn't have stolen. And it makes me feel really bad that I resorted to doing that. So let that be a lesson to you, I guess. Don't steal stuff, even though this game was full of stolen sound effects and stolen sprites. But it's different when you're stealing from an individual, you know? When you're stealing from a big corporation, I guess it's easier to pretend that it doesn't matter than when you're stealing from, you know, a single named person. So, I don't know, whatever. Create original stuff. Don't steal from people. Happy Halloween. I might splice footage in at the end here of what it looks like when you beat the game, but I'm running out of time here, so I'm just going to end it here and splice that in later. Welcome to my house. Pro speed run. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's skip this and hope that the game doesn't break this time, because I actually just tried to do another speed run and I totally broke the game. I think I was supposed to turn on my flashlight on that first screen and I didn't do it, and it totally busted everything. Speed run, speed run, speed run. Ignore that shadow we saw back there. Gotta do a speed run. Wait a minute. Okay, the plates are all here. When it broke last time, all the plates disappeared. Speed run, speed run. Speed run past this incredibly large refrigerator. Make sure all the plates are still here. They are. Suppose I could turn on my flashlight and see that shadow run by. Let's go into the basement first. In our totally pro the house speedrun. Because there are keys in these cardboard boxes. And we need keys. We need keys for the speedrun. Keys for the speedrun. Gotta visit all the rooms. Visiting the rooms is what causes everything to happen. I don't think there's a key in here, which means it is useless to our speedrun. I don't think there's a key in here either. Useless to the speedrun. There's a key in here. I think we've gone through all the doors. But that one still hasn't triggered yet. Speed run. I guess we'll go read a diary or something to crank up the spookometer. And we'll read a couple of other journals. There goes another shadow. Looks kind of like Mr. Game & Watch. I think it's broken again. Because that's supposed to open. I've been in all the rooms. I think speedrunning this game might be a folly.
What?
Nope. Okay. Oh, get out of here. So it was spooky enough that one of those things flew off the table at me, but not spooky enough for the door to open. I'm not actually sure what triggers that. Well, I mean, I am sure. I wrote this game. I know what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to read things, and it cranks up the spookometer. But for some reason, this door isn't opening. It's like PT. Nobody knows the correct sequence of events that are supposed to trigger this spooky door opening. If this doesn't do it, I don't know what will. Speed run, speed run. Yeah, I don't get it. Did I break it again? No. Maybe there's like a certain length of time that has to pass before it'll actually trigger. Maybe we just need to like chill out for a little while and wait around. And eventually it'll just work, right? I mean, that sounds like the kind of thing I would have programmed in. Like, you know, the kind of weird bug catching thing where it's like, oh no, the door's opening too soon. I need to program in like a 5-minute wait time. I don't know if you caught that, but there was a little bit of red text there that said open. Okay, speed run, get the gun. Speed run, get the gun. Speed run, get the gun. I accidentally touch a hidden switch by feeling around. Go downstairs. Go in here. Go into the secret passage. Go in here. Read everything. Listen to the creepy whispering. I think that was stolen text too. Now we go upstairs and we get out of the house. Speed run. Whoa, that's a lot of zombies. Thankfully, zombies don't do very much damage. Run, 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 run. Escape! We did it! And even then, only 6 minutes. I don't think it's actually possible to get a higher rank, though I think... I don't know. I don't remember what the scoring system is, and it's... When you think about it, it's kind of anachronistic that... Not anachronistic, but kind of... Not really... It doesn't really work that you have this rating system on a game that I was trying to make be kind of realistic and kind of immersive. But there you go. There's your speed run. With lovely House of the Dead 2 music at the end. See you next time.